Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing okay. Um, it's the day after the storm. The day after the storm. Now Chelsea lost 3-1 to West Ham yesterday, and it wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day. England lost the Female World Cup final, the Women's World Cup final, and then Chelsea lost 3-1. And yeah, needless to say, there's been a lot of reactions, there's a lot of videos. I sort of wanted to take the time to listen to all the views and some of the interviews and the reactions before coming out to give my 2 cents on Chelsea's game yesterday. Now, first of all, just straight off the bat, I think the first thing to say is to urge calm. Everyone, calma. It's just the second game of the season, and it's not the end of the world. There's still a huge number of games to play. This is not 2022, 2023. This isn't last season. This is a new season, and we trust that the season is definitely going to be better than last season. So I just wanted to say that first of all. But we cannot excuse the horror show that we witnessed yesterday. Definitely cannot excuse that, and I'm going to talk about it very quickly. um I think I've noted a couple of points that I feel I want to talk around in relation to the game yesterday. But I think the first thing to say is that games like this, uh, I mean, it's expected. It's going to happen. I know we want Chelsea to win, to win every game, and we're not going to come out and say we're expecting Chelsea to ever lose. I didn't do a preview video, but if I did one, and I actually predicted on the Chelsea Predictor app, or on the Chelsea app, I actually predicted Chelsea to win this game by 3 goals to nothing, just because I'm not really expecting much from West Ham this season, having lost Declan Rice, and I don't think they've replaced him well. Definitely not gonna say James Ward-Prowse is a replacement for Declan Rice. Apart from shooting free kicks and you know hitting dead balls, I don't think James Ward-Prowse is a good replacement for Declan Rice. So I fully expected Chelsea to actually win this game 3-0. I predicted 3-0, but that wasn't that wasn't the case. Jokes on me, I guess. But what David Moyes did was very practical, in that West Ham played a very compact low block defense. David Moyes has actually come out to say that Chelsea played very well. And yeah, Chelsea played well. If you look at the stats, we had more possession, we had more passes in the final third, we had more passes overall. So we dominated the game, but the problem still remains, us finishing our dinner, as some would say, like finishing our chances or creating those really clear-cut chances that we finish. Um, and I think it is expected, given how much we have changed the team and not replaced. So we haven't replaced the all the outgoings with experienced Premier League proven players. A lot of these players that Chelsea has bought this season, they're young players from all over the gaff, that are really, if we're being honest, I mean, we're super gassed anytime we get a transfer in, or get a new player. We're super gassed. We do all these comps, we put all these comps on Twitter, and you're like really excited. But if we're really being honest, a lot of these players are unproven. Mikhailo Mudryk, unproven, in any of the big five leagues. Noni Madueke, unproven. Chukwuemeka, unproven, and I can go on and on and on. Like the list goes on. Nico Jackson, unproven, right? If you go to midfield, it's the same thing as well, right? Enzo Fernandez had a fantastic World Cup, but if we're being honest, he hasn't really proven it on a regular basis in league football, and not even in England. Right now, I'm not trying to say that Enzo Fernandez is not going to come good. I think he's a world-class midfielder, and we also saw what he did against Liverpool. But I think a lot of these players, they are quite young, and we can say the same about Moises Caicedo as well. They're very young players. They're unproven. It's going to take time for all of them to bed in. Now, the problem that we've had, and I've actually spoken about this before, not on YouTube, but I've spoken about this before, that I think the policy to get rid of experienced players almost all at once. Now, whether you agree or whether you think that they're quality players or not, but I think the decision by the ownership or by the management to get rid of all those really good experienced players, or experienced players nonetheless, and then replace them with unproven players, and we can, like I said, we can actually go down the list. I don't think that's helping Chelsea at all. What that means is we're not going to be able to deliver immediately, right? That's not going to happen immediately. It's going to happen over time. And I feel we've got the best manager to actually do that in Pochettino. But we need to help Poch as well. Now Poch has come out to say that he wants a smaller squad, right? When he was in Tottenham, he did not work with a huge number of players on the roster. I don't know what the number is now, but I think we still need to trim down the squad. There's still a number of players that are still on the books, that are still on training, that we still have to cater for, that are not going to be in Chelsea, or that Poch's not going to use, right? We still have Lukaku on books, for instance, just to name one example. So I think we need to we need to be more prompt with trimming down the squad. Now, we've done a fantastic job, trying to get rid of the players that Poch's not going to use. But I think we need to finish that squad building now. We need to finish that squad building now. Um, um, and 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 it's going to sound like a contradiction, because I think we actually need one more player. Unfortunately, obviously because of Nkunku's injury, we need one more player, right? If I go back to the point I made earlier on how Chelsea dominated the game, but weren't able to create clear-cut chances for our striker Nico Jackson to finish. Now, Nico Jackson is a young striker, right? He's a young striker. He's still, I mean, he's only had one season in the major league where he did well, and he didn't really do well in the whole of the season. He did well the last couple of games, right? So Nico Jackson is still very, very much, as much as we're excited about him, he's still very, very much, and all those Drogba comparisons, Nico Jackson is still very much an unproven player, right? So what that means is we need him to get all the support that he needs to get. We need to feed him clear-cut chances. If you look at somebody like Erling Haaland, as elite as Haaland is, Haaland gets serviced very, very well. He gets maybe one of the best services that any striker gets across European football, right? So Nico Jackson needs to be fed very well. Now, our best player yesterday was Sterling, right? But Sterling was, he was on the wing, right? He was pushed to the wing based on the compact low block defensive game that West Ham played. And I mean, David Moyes played a blinder, to be honest. He dealt with the threats that we had very, very effectively. Pushed all our strikers, on Callum Modric, Raheem Sterling, and even Chukwuemeka before he left. He pushed all of them to the wing, which means that any damage that you're doing is on the wing, and the tendency for that to be effective is very, very slim. So you're not as effective, because you're not facing the goal. So that's why I said we need one more player. Now we need one more player that will be behind the striker. So we need somebody to be in that Nkunku position, right? That can unlock defenses. So not just any player, but someone that is creative, right? There's been a lot of talk about Chekri from Leon. Now I don't know about the guy, right? I don't know, and to be honest, it's just going to be another young player that is unproven. I don't have any names to provide, but I think if we really want Nico Jackson to flourish this season, then we need to help him out. He's still a young striker. He's still learning the ropes. We need to help him out. We need to get that creative player behind the attack that can unlock defenses, that can unlock low blocks like the one that West Ham employed yesterday. Think of a Phil Foden. What Phil Foden does for Man City, or what Kevin De Bruyne does with those wicked crosses that he sends from the midfield. I think that's what Chelsea need. Now we don't have any player. I don't think we have any player in our team currently that necessarily fits that mood. Raheem Sterling cannot be our most effective creator. He's not a creator, he's a finisher. Right? Raheem Sterling is a finisher. If you go back to his Man City, yeah, he will give some assists, but he wasn't the main creator. So Raheem Sterling cannot be our creator. He needs to be closer to the goal and finish those crosses, those Kevin De Bruyne crosses where he just sticks a leg out and then it's in the goal. So we need that kind of, or we need those kind of players in the team. And I feel for the way Poch wants to play, we need a Dele Alli kind of player, right? So a creative player behind the attack. So one more transfer, and then I think we get rid of any player that Poch's not going to use. We need to be very, very prompt with that. But to go back to the game, I think we're poor defensively. I think we're really poor defensively. I think I mean, there's been a lot of people in the Chelsea community saying that Poch needs to go back to that 4-4-2. I mean, what that means is if Poch decides to go back to 4-4-2, then he has to drop Thiago Silva, because I think a lot of Chelsea fans will agree that Thiago Silva probably operates better in a three-man defense, right, where he gets more cover because of his lack of pace and his age and all of that. Going to 4-4-2 means we drop Thiago Silva, and then we'll probably have to start Disasi and Colwill. Now, that is scary if you just pause and think about it. I get it that we need to go back to 4-4-2, but it is scary because Disasi isn't proven. He wasn't that fantastic against Liverpool, if we're being honest. He got better in the game after his goal, but he wasn't that fantastic. He still needs to catch up with the pace of the Premier League, right? And Lever Colwill, I don't know. I don't know. I feel Cole will probably operate better in a settled team, and we're far from settled as we've seen from this last two games. And I'm including the Liverpool game, even though we did play much better in that game than the one we had against West Ham. So yeah, so I don't know. That's I guess that's the dilemma that Pochettino has to deal with. And if we talk about some isolated events in the game, like the missed penalty kick from Enzo Fernandez, my take on that would be, I don't know. I really hope that Enzo Fernandez is the best penalty kick shooter from training, because I don't know why Enzo Fernandez should be the one taking the penalty kicks. I feel your PK shooter should be a striker or one of your attacking players. Sterling, Nico Jackson, Ricardo Mudryk. I feel should be one of those guys, not Enzo Fernandez. But again, anyone can miss a penalty, and I'm not gonna just harp on that fact too much. Anyone can miss a penalty and there's a chance. But I didn't think it was a quality penalty, to be honest. I think he didn't pick his spots well. But I mean, penalties are a lottery anyway, so I'm not gonna harp on that too much. But I go back to the point that I think a penalty kick shooter should be one of your strikers or one of your attacking players at least. So one more transfer, and I think we'll be in a much better place. One other thing that I just quickly wanted to talk about was the spate of injuries that we have at Chelsea. It is getting ridiculous now. It's getting ridiculous now. I mean, Chukwuemeka scores his first goal for Chelsea. Brilliant goal, by the way. And then he gets injured. And it looks like a serious injury as well. And just adding to the list of injuries I've had. Fofana, Nkuku, Reece James, and now Chukwuemeka. And I mean, we had a number of injuries last season as well. We really need to have a conversation about what the medical team at Chelsea, what they're doing, or what, I don't know. I really don't know, but I think it's something that we really need to pay attention to. It's something that Pochettino needs to pay attention to. It's something that the powers that be at Chelsea need to really look at. And do we need to sack the doctors and bring? I mean, I'm not advocating for anyone to lose a job or anything like that, but really need to look at the spate of injuries. It's not helping the team. It keeps disrupting the team, and I don't think that will be helpful for what we need to achieve this season. One other thing that I wanted to mention, one last thing that I want to mention is, Moises Caicedo didn't have a very good game, right? He didn't have a very good game. He lost the ball a couple of times, wrong passes a couple of times, and he cost a penalty against Chelsea. Now, I mean, it wasn't a good debut, but Moises Caicedo is going to come good. Trust me, he's going to come good. I mean, we've all seen what he's capable of from his last season with Brighton. I think he's going to come good. I think the reason why there's a lot of noise is because of the huge transfer fees that some of these players have commanded. Now we know that these players are not worth the amount of money that Chelsea that we've paid for them, right? But it is what it is. It's the market that we're dealing with, and it's the precedent that the ownership set from beginning. I mean, we can analyze Chelsea's transfer dealings in another video, and that can go on for on and on and on. But it is what it is. The problem is, I feel this huge transfer fees, they're putting a huge amount of pressure on these players, right? I won't be surprised if Enzo Fernandez thinks that he should be shooting the penalty kick because he's seen as one of the key players for Chelsea, whereas Enzo Fernandez is actually still developing at Chelsea. He's still he's still a very young player. Yes, he had a brilliant World Cup, but he's still a young player. He's still developing, right? But I just feel like this huge transfer fees, it puts a huge amount of pressure on these players, and I think the pressure gets to them. Nico Jackson, huge amounts of pressure on his shoulders as well. I think Moses Caicedo is carrying that pressure, and I think this is where Pochettino will have to come in and coach the player or manage the player to sort of get them to dissociate themselves from the Figo and see themselves as just another player, see themselves as just another player in the team that is contributing, to the team and what we want to achieve this season. But I believe that Moises Caicedo is going to come good. I mean, I don't think he has anything. I don't want to say he has something to prove, but he does because he's still a young player, and there are huge expectations for him at Chelsea. But I'm just really, really worried of us piling or putting that pressure on him because I don't think that's what we should be doing. Anyway, but that's my take on the game. I think we're gonna improve. I think we're gonna get better, and I think there's been a lot of conversation around the strategy from the ownership. I don't think is the best one, but hey, that's where we are at the moment. We just need to keep on looking forward and supporting the team and Poch to come good, and we know that this boys will. I don't think we need a striker. There's been some conversations around if we should get a striker. I don't think we need a striker. I think what we need is a creative player that can unlock those low blocks. I mean, it's no coincidence that we had a much better game against Liverpool that do not play a low block, but we had that against West Ham. And unfortunately, we're going to come up against that. We're going to come against that a lot more this season in the Premier League. So just something to note there. Anyway, next up is Luton on Friday. We definitely need to get 3 points. I mean, we definitely need to get 3. If we do not get 3 points, I don't think any Chelsea fan will be able to show their face anywhere. But so needless to say, that is definitely a much win. It's more than 3 points for Chelsea. It's needed to even boost the morale and confidence of the boys and just get our season back on track. But yeah, that's my take. That's my take on the game from yesterday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch out for more videos coming from this channel. Peace out.